What's up, everybody? We're here in Florida, in Duval County, off of north of Jacksonville. We are going to see a very special place. We're going on a 2-mile road that's going to take us to this very special place, which is the Kingsley Plantation. Let's go!
So here we can see the slave quarters and the remains of about 25 remaining houses. They're on both sides of the street. That's the street that you would enter and exit the plantation. Here are some of the other remains on this side. Right here on the corners is where the manager or the higher ranking person would live. Let's go inside. Here we can see the remnants of the tabby houses of the families that used to reside here. This is made out of tabby, which is a concrete used back then, made out of shells, seashells, and lime, mixed with some sand. Right here you can see some portholes. Not sure what they use that for. Some of them have a separation, as almost if this was a separate kitchen and sleeping quarters possibly. So that way, if there's a fire, it would be separated by a wall and a door. But I could be wrong. Yeah, definitely windows. Some of them have windows, or is it all of them? Not sure. All of them have windows. This one did not survive much at all for some reason compared to the others. This one doesn't even, for some reason, is not. There's a few of them like that. Look at this one, is not even. This one. This one's got a hole where the stove used to be. This one has a back door as well. So there's multiple entryways. Here's the kitchen. And this one would be where the sleeping quarters, I'm thinking, might be. With multiple windows. Wow. That's amazing. This is made out of tabby, which is seashells mixed with sand and lime. And this was used as their concrete. And now it's 200 years later, and we still can feel it and touch it. Made by the hands of the families that lived here. And their spirit is still here. Sorry. And so here we have one of the homes more complete, even though it's missing a roof, but you can see that it's smooth. No really exposed bricks. The holes are sealed a little bit better. And the walls are smooth, and you can see the indents of where maybe possibly shutters would be. Sleeping quarters separating the kitchen once again. With no back door, this one is only one entry. Possibly a higher ranking person. Pretty amazing. This one looks much bigger. Another higher ranking person. Much bigger, different layout. Kitchen is on the opposite side. The oven is much bigger. Huge compared to the others. Look at the size of the sleeping quarters. It could have been a larger family. Much more space than the others had. And a back door. Those woods were not all there. Those woods would not have been here. You would have been able to see all the way down to the water, which is not too far behind here. So there would have been mosquitoes here in the summertime, besides other insects. Let's go back to the front of the first house. These trees would not have been here. This would have been more open. Here you can see the semicircle that all the homes were laid out. They were all laid out this way to face the main home, the main property, which would have been not too far away in that direction. Here we're gonna see the roof still attached. Walls are finished and smooth. This is the most intact home so far. Also one of the largest ones. Humongous kitchen and fireplace. Multiple windows, back doors coming out to the back. Here's the sleeping quarters with more windows. Look how tall this roof is. Here's the front of the window. This is pretty amazing. And here we go to the back, where these woods would have not have been. You would have been able to see water and fields behind here. Since then, it's been overgrown. No running water, no electric, just a fire and windows. This is the oldest plantation known in Florida. This is the well here. Amazing. Is that right? These are some of Anna's family. Precious survivor. Oyster shell concrete. Tabby. Floor. Original. Unbelievable.